this is Gun Knives and Watches, man. This man gonna be talking about that there zebra billy pot, or the zebra loop handle pot, or whatever you want to call it. Now, this of course is the 14 centimeter version. When you purchase it, of course, it comes with a stainless steel lid that can be used upside down on it and used to keep something warm. Hey, that's a kicker right there, boy. Also, it comes with an inner pan, high polished stainless steel finish, as you can see right there in my beautiful face, man. Yeah, boy. Anyway, you got your inner pan, and then you've got your, this is the 14 centimeter, so it is a 2-quart pot. 14 centimeters in diameter and 14 centimeters high. Now, this upper pan is great for cooking something because the steam, like if you're boiling rice, you're cooking something down there, lentils, whatever you want to do. This is going to be at 212 degrees. So you can cook something on it. You know, you're not going to sear meat, you're not going to do that type of stuff, but you're going to do basically a slow cook. And as I said, you can also put something on the top and melt something, some butter, whatever you want to do. Okay? So you basically have 3 different compartments, 3 different temperature levels that you can actually use. Because you could always sear your meat in this first. Then you'll build a fond on the bottom, add your water, your whatever else, and then basically cook a stew and basically create a 1-pot meal. But anyway, as you can sit there and see, mine has been modified, and look at that. The modification works even with the lid upside down. And what we're talking about, you know, we're talking about the clips that go on this zebra pot, and they are from FireboxStoves.com. Now, these clips work really well with the 14 centimeter and the 16 centimeter, and I'll show you that here in a second. Of course, we saw them lock the handle up and lock the top on. Okay, you can do anything with it, this, that, or the other. And because we've got our inner pan in there, you could even pour with it if you wanted to, with the handle off. And they say, well, how you gonna do that? Because it ain't latched on to nothing. Well, the standard clips that come with it are the plastic clips, and those plastic clips are used for more for using it as a big lunch box. Okay. And to tell you the truth, the vast majority of people have always just removed them. But you can take these clips from Firebox stoves, pop them out, and these are new, and basically create a locked handle, which you can pour and this, there, the other, and Of course, anybody knows that's ever dealt with billy pots much. You don't pour that way with a billy pot. You pour kind of sideways, and then you kind of tilt it, man. And you can do all, you know, you pour kind of like that, boy. Or if you want to pour like that, you just do it a different way. But you can manipulate the pot, But that's an old skill. If you want just a locked handle where it'll keep that handle type cool situation, you can do it just like that, and you can pour conventionally. Now, what else do they offer? What do these clips for $4 offer you? And, you know, if you're going to buy them, I'd probably call Firebox Stoves, because the standard shipping's $5. If you order, I think, $30 worth of stuff, you get free shipping. But they basically they cut my shipping costs down, because $5 for clips. Of course, we bought 10 of them, which are 5 sets of 2. And the reason we did that is just so that I could understand their manufacturing variability. and see how consistently they're doing it. But one other thing you can do with this is with the 14 and 16 millimeter kits, 14 and 16 centimeter pots, you can do what they call horizontal baking. And then your handle basically operates as your lock for your lid, okay? And it's practically impossible to do it without it, okay? But what you can do is, you can, with the correct stove and correct setup, and you can go to Firebox stoves. Am I going to do that? I may get into that, but it's going to be not on this 14 centimeter pot. It's going to be on this big 16. Because as I said, the 14 centimeter pot, and I may not have said it, is actually a 2-quart pot. This is a 3-quart. You increase the diameter by 2 centimeters, and it increases the volume by 50%. We also have the clips on here. So you can set this big pot up for horizontal baking. Now, is this going to be a backpacking setup? Maybe if you're, like cooking this, there, or the other, go out for a day hike. Yeah. Are you going to carry a 3-quart stainless steel pot with all of the other things to go with it out, hiking the Appalachian Trail? No. But what they have is, they have a pan that fits in here horizontally, and it's rectangular, keeps it off the bottom, and it fits perfectly where that you can bake in. And then if you buy the stove from them, you can use one of their grates that comes with the stove, set it in there, and then the other pan that they have is basically a pan for baking a loaf of bread. It's a loaf pan. And if I was going to do that, I would definitely get it for the 16, and then put this in the RV, put it in something else, or just, as a hobbyist, or just a person who wants to be able to bake on a fire. This is, not a bad setup. The reason it works is because of the very thick stainless steel. This is not a light setup. I've gone over it in the other video as far as how much this thing weighs. And these locks basically give you the capability of doing that. Will I move into that? Possibly. More or less for, I probably, who knows. But it at least gives me the option. It also gives me the option for locking the lid on, which is primarily what I want to use these for, because in case this is in an unstable situation, or more importantly, this one's in an unstable situation, and it falls over, the contents of the pot won't just all dump out on the ground. Or it keeps the handle cool so that you can just easily grab it out of the fire or something like that, Of course, you can hang it over the fire. It's got that, it's a great pot, okay? They're heavy, but they cook really well. And like problems that you have with thinner pots of things scorching this, there, or the other, you don't have with this one. And you can do things like cook a 1-pot meal where you basically sear the meat in the bottom. Then you add the rest of the stuff, and you basically create a quick stew. One of our favorite things are lentils. One thing you always want to think about, though, when you're doing that, when you sear the meat on the bottom, the fond, or the burnt stuff, the stuff that's brown on the bottom, you want to make sure and basically loosen up from the bottom, because not only does that add flavor to your stew, it also, if you leave it on the bottom, it will scorch, and you wind up with a burnt taste, okay? But that's cooking meal of the day. We do single pot meals all the time, so it's the same rule whether you do it by a campfire or whether you do it on your own home. One thing that I've found is for a 12 centimeter pot, and I don't really recommend the 10 centimeter, but the 12 centimeter is a great individual pot. And it's correct size, correct weight, correct everything else. They say you can use these clips, okay? And I'm going to install one on this one. And the way you have to do it is, you have to do it on the outside, and you have to face the loop, the angle towards the pot. Now, what that gives you the option of doing is possibly locking the handle up. And you can sit there and see that it's not a perfect fit. The reason it's not a perfect fit is because of the little rivet right here. Now that locked into place there. You'll find some little variability in that. And what's actually happening is mechanically, and you can also see that it does not work all the time either. So are these this important with a 10 centimeter? I don't know that I would really, you could justify the expense. Like now it's working. You just have to push it in there. So is it working? Is it working great? Yeah. If you're buying the pot and you want to add these, or you want to add it to an order, that'd be great. I wouldn't possibly place an order just for one of these clips. Because yeah, it holds the handle up. Yeah, you can still possibly put the stuff in there. No, actually you can't. Of course you couldn't do that on the big ones either. But let's see if we can. And see, it's not really wanting to work all that well right there either, even with that thing on there. Even with that inner pan, because that inner pan, the lip is so much larger that it's keeping it from working. So really, what it's really good for is just if you want to use the pot, and see, it even knocked it down then. And if you're delicate and you're this, there, or the other. Honestly, with a 10 centimeter or the 12 centimeter, I'd probably just go bare, man. It'll be one less thing to mess with, one less thing this, there, or the other. And as I said, you can always take a stick and just keep the handle up, lean the handle over, do all kinds of things. Stuff that we've done for years. But this is Guns, Knives, and Watches, and the rivets are really tight on this pot. Sometimes you'll find that the rivets aren't the tightest thing in the world, and I'll give you an example of that. This one's a little looser, which means this handle swings very free, where this one's just a little more tight. And that's just some variability, and believe it or not, I would tell you that they'll all loosen up. We use these 14 and 16 a lot when we're out family camping doing that type stuff. These are the ones we primarily use. These are primarily for backpacks and things like that. But like I said, are there lighter options? Yeah, you can go with the Morris pot, which is a smaller pot than this 2 quart, because it's a 1.8 quart. And when I say this is 2 quart, it's not 2 quart from here to here. It's 2 quart down in here. It's a little bit larger than that. But have I measured it exactly? No. I just know that the Morris pot is fractionally smaller, and it's 1.8. So anyway, this is Guns, Knives, and Watches, man. And these are the clips from FireboxStove.com, and I probably rambled on a little bit too much. But it's all experimentation. It's all something to do. This is Guns, Knives, and Watches. Have a good one.